Hi, guys, and welcome to today's office. I have a lot of things to share with you today. First, I just want to let you know we're going to be trying something different today with the streams. I'm streaming now to Facebook and YouTube Live. I'm going to try to simultaneously stream to Instagram at the same time. So if you guys can hear me, I just want to make sure my audio is good with you guys over here on Facebook and YouTube before I get started with so much that we have going on today. Can you guys actually hear me? If you could put a comment in the, if you could put a comment in the feed and just let me know that you guys can hear my audio, you can hear me speaking. Audio is a lot. Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate that. All right, let me start on Instagram and let's see if this works out. I hope it does, because that way. All right. Okay. Hi, Instagram. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube like we do every week. And normally I put you guys on, I put a graphic up or something. And you guys are going to see me kind of going back and forth, talking to this camera and that camera, because right now we're actually just, I'm trying out a way to simultaneously stream for everybody, because you guys on Instagram aren't getting the weekly energy forecast. You actually have to go through a bunch of steps to get the weekly energy forecast. So I just wanted to make it accessible to you. So we have a camera over here and a camera over here. So we're going live on Instagram today for the first time. And we're live on here as we normally are for YouTube and Facebook. So how's everybody doing today? I just want to give a shout out to some of you. Hi, Denise over on Instagram. I appreciate you guys being here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Carol. Hi, Lisa. So, once I figure out all the technical stuff, we will probably be able to look at the same camera at the same time. But thanks, Denise, for joining us. Hi, Jamie on YouTube. We have people on 3 different platforms right now. And I just wanted to give you guys, a heads up. This is such a critical time. Hi, Stephanie. You're saying, hi, Marissa. I've been away for a while, but it's good to be back. It's good to see you back again. We're going to be going into that implementation day for manifesting very soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Good to see all you guys on Facebook and YouTube. And hi, everybody on Instagram. I was just telling people we're on 2 separate cameras right now. So be patient. If I'm not looking over here, I'm looking over there. This is the first time we're actually broadcasting live to Instagram. So let me talk to you guys about a very, very important aspect. Can you see? Yes, Linda, I can see you. I could hear you. Thanks so much for putting that out there. We are up until like the last 3 months, okay, we have been going through a huge, huge transformation process. We've been going through an ascension process. We've been releasing, we've been transforming, and a lot of you guys have been having trouble, moving through a lot of tough energies, moving through a lot of stuck energies. And some of you may have even quit midstream because all that grief, all that trauma, all that sadness, everything that you've been holding down, this is from a 15-year period, is actually coming up over the past 3 months. And like I said in my monthly energy forecast, and if you guys do not get my monthly energy forecast, it's really important that you go on Instagram into the link in bio. And if you're on Facebook and YouTube, go into the description of this video. I put them out on the 15th of every month. They are not public. And I go through every single day of the month and what to expect. So you just have to put your email in to get that. So we are in a state right now where Chiron is in retrograde. And what that means is we are finally at a stage where we are accessing the wounded parts of ourselves, the parts of ourselves that need healing, the parts of ourselves that we haven't accessed in a really long time, and those really deep, dark wounds that you've been distracting yourself with for years or maybe decades. It's now time to kind of put the pedal to the metal. Now, if you guys have been following me for the last like 7 or 8 months, you guys have been doing a lot of this work already. So in the next month, and I talked about this in my monthly energy forecast, in the next month, especially from July 23rd to July 30th, you guys can expect some really amazing surprises, okay? Things that are unexpected. And for those of you that have been struggling over the past 7, 8, 9 months, you're going to actually have a time where you're feeling like you could take a deep breath, you can relax, but then when you relax, that last part of that stuff you've been kind of holding on to, you still have to release that one last part. And that one last part is kind of the toughest part, right? So you want to make sure that you're in a place where you are ready to finally let go. And this involves a lot of resentments that don't really sometimes have to do with the present situation. It doesn't really have to do with the present. You might look at your situations in your life, whether that's, your career, your health, a family issue, relationships, whatever it might be. You might say, oh, I'm resentful against this person, place, or thing. And really this resentment that you might feel, or this holding that you might feel, or this anger that you almost feel like you're loyal to, like you can't get rid of it because it's been a part of you for so long. It's not connected to anything in the past 3 years. That anger is not connected to anything in the past 3 years. That's connected to stuff that happened in your childhood, in your upbringing, in any sort of trauma you've experienced. This is where Chiron is coming in. This is astrologically where we are. It's asking you to descend. If you think of yourself as like I'm going to say an igloo, but it's not really an igloo, an iceberg. You could see the top of the iceberg and you think, oh, that's a pretty big iceberg. There's a lot of ice there. But then when you really look at an iceberg, the majority of it is in the subconscious. So while you might be thinking, okay, all of this anger is bubbling up, all this irritation, all this confusion, or all this feeling like I want to move, and almost like the world isn't going fast enough for you to catch up with all the things you have to catch up with to do, you might start to feel those feelings bubbling up. As soon as you start to take a breath from doing your personal work and your healing work, as soon as you start to take a breath, that's when you lower that activation, that energy that's been pent up, that energy that's been kind of like stuck there, is going to rise. And when it rises, it's going to be intense. And you're going to feel like, oh my God, I want to like run away from this, or I want to just move. You're kind of in that like fight or flight mode, or just movement. I need movement. I need to go. And you have to let it come up, whether that's sadness or grief or anger or frustration, whatever it is. But I need to let you know that some of that you might be putting in a box thinking, okay, this is connected to my present life situation. And it really isn't. It's really not connected to your present life situation. It's connected to the past 15, 17 years, or even when you were a kid. And there might be a lot of stuff that you can intellectually understand, intellectually process, and be like, oh, I know where my pain comes from. I know where my wounds came from. I know where my wounds came from. But you might not really, you might intellectualize it. You might understand it logically, but you're not really understanding. It's kind of like when you have these things happen, when you have these wounds that are there. And this is where Chiron is coming in up until December. It's asking you to dig deep and unearth all that darkness, all that gray matter, so that you can be free. A lot of us hold on to resentment because we feel like if we don't, we're condoning the other person that hurt us, or condoning their behavior, or saying it's okay. We're almost like, if we say it's okay, that means we're not like standing up for ourselves inside. But resentment is only going to hurt you. It's only going to keep you stuck. So if you want personal freedom, if you want to be those shackles to be just like released, and if you want that personal freedom, and you want to feel free, and you want to feel free of anger, free of resentment, free of bitterness, fear of frustration, you need to finally have that last release and realize where it's coming from. So with the moon in, doing what it's doing, and with Chiron and with all these other aspects, really, and we're in Leo season, which is like the lion. It's the wanting us to jump out into our greatness, come into our power, come into that energy center where we are our true authentic selves. And the mask is like, and the mask is down. Okay. You're coming into a period where you need to release the mask, and the mask is connected to what I was just talking about, the resentment, the bitterness, the frustration of things that you think are connected to now, but they're really not connected to now. They're connected to a long time ago. So the universe is asking you to release the mask. What mask are you wearing to defend yourself? What mask are you wearing to protect yourself? What mask are you wearing to, make sure that you're pleasing other people? You have to release that mask and realize that the beautiful you, the vulnerable parts of you, and the parts of you that have the most power are the ones that are authentic. It's the ones that when you let that mask go, your beauty and your vulnerability is your power. And you might see it as a weakness because maybe back in your past, you let your guard down and you got hurt. Okay. So if you guys are just joining in, hi, Instagram. This is our first time live doing our weekly energy forecast. We've been doing this live on Facebook and YouTube for a long time. And we've been putting up graphics on Instagram telling you guys to go to this link and that link to get it. Now we're just doing two separate cameras. So hi, Instagram. Hi, Brian. Hi, Helen. Hi, BGM289. Nice to see you guys. We're trying this 2-camera thing out to see how everything's working. So thanks for joining us. And this is also a period too. And you guys too, if you're just joining on YouTube and Facebook, our loyal listeners here on YouTube and Facebook, remember, if you want my monthly energy forecasts, they are not public. Go to the link in bio before the 15th of every month, put in your email, and you're going to get my monthly energy forecast where I go into the energy every day of the month. And we talk about the world energy, my personal channeling, and every single day of the month. Now, here's where we're stuck. Okay, here's where we're stuck at this point in the energy. Your heart and your head are doing two separate things. Okay, meaning your heart's having a conversation with you, saying, your heart knows what it wants, right? Your heart knows where it's at and what it wants and what it's there for. My hair is a little bit like the humidity today. It's kind of making my hair a little fluff. You know what I mean? It's giving it a little fluff. So hi, everybody. Hi, Kathy. Hi, SK. Good to see you. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so your heart and your head are having very different conversations. So we're in Leo season. It's asking us to come center stage, not only to show up for yourself, but show up for the ones that you love. Show up and stand up for what you believe in your heart and what is in your heart, because your heart is telling you one thing. It's telling you what you love. Oh, Alyssa, that is so nice of you. Thank you so much. Got a little tan here once in a while. So, and your head and your intellect is telling you a whole other thing. It's asking you to listen to reason. It's asking you to listen to your fears. Your fears are big right now. And it's like, hey, my heart's saying one thing, but I got to protect my heart and I can't walk through my fears. And if you've been doing your trauma and personal work, if you've been doing your healing work, you are realizing your fears are coming up one by one in the last 3 weeks or the last month, and you have been walking through them. You are brave. I want you to put in your affirmations every morning, how brave you are. And I want you to think about it's also a critical time. We're going to be very critical of ourselves right now and think about what we're lacking, what we're not doing. And we're having so much energy and thinking of making up for lost time. Like, what do I have to make up for? What did I regret in my past that now I have to make up for? Right now, I just want you guys to think about what you've done up until this point. Okay. What you've done up until this point that has gotten you to where you are. And I want you to say, I'm brave. I'm courageous. And where I was a year ago and where I am now, I may not be exactly where I want to be, but I'm where I need to be. And think about all the work you've done, all the people that have been listening to the weekly energy forecast, all the people that have been listening to the lounge. You guys have done some amazing activation work, some amazing transformation work, some amazing manifestation work. And here you are again. And now we're on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. Good to see you guys. You guys are coming in late to the game, but that's okay. I can only do a couple platforms at once, but if this works, I'll have to figure out another way to do one camera for everything, but now we're on 2 cameras. So I just wanted to get you guys the actual live that everyone else gets. So I'm so happy to see you guys. So thanks, Instagram, for being here. Lisa, good to see you. Everything is right on. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm moving through the same thing that you guys are moving through. So like I said, your heart and your head are having 2 different conversations, but it's asking you to ask yourself right now, like, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want it to feel like? Not so much look like, because it's great for us to like visualize what we want it to look like, right? We could say, oh, I want a nice car, a nice house, or this love fantasy that we have in our mind. What do you want it to feel like? And I'm sure a lot of you are getting to the point where you have to break patterns, habits, and get into processes. Okay, getting into processes is so very important. If you have to start your process. This is a time where you can sit there until you're blue in the face, or whatever you want to say. I know that's kind of a weird term, but you could sit there and say, oh yeah, Marissa, I've read books for many, many, many years. I know this all intellectually. I know where my wounding comes from. I know where my healing goes. Yeah, but you're repeating the same patterns. So then it's not real intellect. You could intellectually understand something every time. You could just intellectually understand anything at 100% capacity, but it doesn't change your patterns. It doesn't change your triggers. It doesn't change what makes you really upset. It doesn't change what makes you sad or what makes you in grief. You have to integrate the heart and the head. So important. So those 2 things right now, with Chiron being in retrograde, are in conflict. Okay. But the way to get out of that conflict, and the way to, yes, Brian, right. Okay. You're talking on Instagram. You're saying it's all about self-love. Do you know that many of us intellectualize self-love? We sit there and we intellectualize self-love. Like, oh, I have to love myself. Do you know how long I've been hearing that? Like, oh, I have to love myself. Do you guys even understand what that means? I didn't understand what it meant. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. But how do you love yourself? And so we read self-help books, and we look at memes, and we listen to inspirational messages, and we say, oh, if I just if I love myself. We think if we just look in a mirror and have, affirmations like, oh, I'm going to tell myself I love myself. No, true self-love is action. I always thought it was an intellectual understanding of what I have to understand in my mind. Self-love is an action. Okay. And a lot of times, and I am guilty of this, as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I've had to go through this whole process. It's actively taking care of yourself. It's boundaries. It's, when you're hungry, you go and eat. When you're thirsty, you drink. When you're tired, you let yourself, you parent yourself. You go and you take a rest. I can't tell you how many times I've been hungry, tired, thirsty, and I powered through work, and it was like, oh, I'll let my body just suffer, and then I'll eat a couple hours from now, and I'll eat standing up, and eat a bar once in a while. But your body is saying, no, this is what I need. So loving yourself is not an intellectual process. It's really not an intellectual process. It is an action. Loving someone else there's no words. It's an action. What are you doing to show up for yourself today? What are you doing to show up for others? What are you doing to show up? Listen to your heart. Where is it? Where's that mask that you're wearing? What mask are you? What are you projecting onto other people? Why are you wearing the mask? Is it self-protection? Is it so that you don't get hurt? But then how are people going to get to know you if you're not being authentic? So the sun in Leo and Leo season is asking you to emerge with who you are. And if people don't like you, or if you're too much for someone, or if you're too, you're too loud, or you're too quiet, or you're too much of an introvert, or too much of an extrovert, it doesn't matter if you wear that mask, because you're a figment of yourself anyway. And is that self-love? No, it really isn't. So I want you guys to think about that story that your heart is telling you and what your head's telling you. And you have to think about how you're going to integrate those things. Okay. And remember, we have the lounge on Friday night. We have Jennifer Moore coming, and she's going to talk about how, as an empath, you guys could actually live life and not have to feel everything all the time. Okay, so she's going to be talking to us about being an empath and what we could do to kind of balance out feeling everybody's emotions, energy, and everything else. So that's very important. So in this process of the heart and the head alignment and Chiron and the mask, and if you guys are just joining us on Instagram, thanks for joining us. This is our first time live on Instagram. We're always live on Facebook and YouTube. We wanted to bring it to you live on Instagram. So hi, good to see you. And thank all of you for Facebook and YouTube for you guys being on here and always being our lovely audience time every week. So it's good to see you guys again too. So I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying is that how we integrate the heart and the head is that, first of all, we need to step up for ourselves, and where we have to stand in our authenticity. It's like going backstage, coming on stage as yourself, not as a character you're playing. Secondly, what do you stand for? What are your ethics? What are your morals? What are your values? What do you not stand for? And are you accepting what you don't stand for anymore? What are you accepting in your life? What voices are telling you should be accepting things that are not acceptable to you? It's important that you commit. You make commitments this month. It's so important. Make commitments and put your both feet somewhere. If you stay in limbo, that's what you're going to get over the next 3 months to the next year. You're going to stay in limbo. And the final part about what I want to talk to you guys about is the release. We need to actually release what I talked about is if you're holding resentment, remember that it's not in the present situation. Remember that resentment and anger is actually, you might think of those things as a negative emotion, but they're actually protecting you from what happened to you a long time ago. They're saying, we need to be here to protect you, but it's not really serving you now in the relationships, in your life, in your freedom. It may have protected you in the past, but it's not serving you now. What's going to serve you is your love for yourself, stepping into your power, loving yourself with the action, and realizing what your mask is. What kind of mask are you wearing, and how do you keep people out? How do you keep people from seeing who you really are, from stepping inside? So I want you guys to think about all that. Okay, I know it's a lot to process, but that's where we are. You have to take both feet and finally take action and say, this is the direction I want to go in right now. This is my authentic self. This is the mask I'm wearing. I'm going to throw it out. This is what I want for my life. I'm going to step into it. And the people that are supportive of it, they'll be with me. And the people that aren't, then you were managing a fake expectation because the mask that you wore. But wouldn't it be awesome if the people in your life that you were having issues with or problems or whatever, they dropped their mask, you dropped your mask, and lo and behold, everything turned out beautifully, right? What if that had happened? I mean, you have so many unexpected surprises this month. I just can't wait for you guys to tell me, hey, this happened and this happened. It's such an activating time. And I want you guys to activate the right energy for yourself. So step into the power and start to answer the calls of your physical vessel, of your body. And what does your body asking you to do? And that's the first step toward that action of self-love. So that's where we are with the energy. Chiron's going to be delving us deep into this dark night of the soul, this forest of unearthing. And but luckily there'll be breaks, time to breathe until December 15th. So, and if you guys have been watching my Energetically Correct after hours, so I do my readings during the day, right? We do our live broadcasts. We have the office once a week, the weekly energy forecast. We have the lounge every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we interview lots of experts, authors, celebs, people out there that have all sorts of metaphysical topics. So we hang out and we have a great time. There's a lot of laughing, a lot of fun. And now I have this new series called Energetically Correct, where it's, because I'm kind of serious now, we're delving deep. And then in my monthly forecast, I'm real serious. And then after hours, when I'm not reading these broadcasts and channeling information, I'm out on the town, Northeast Pennsylvania, the home of the real office, giving you guys a tour of some of the landmarks, making you laugh, and making a difference in people's lives, and reviewing food. Because you guys all said you wanted to see what I'm doing when I'm not working. So that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to give you an update that I told you about the Burger King employee, right? That is being harassed. I mean, every time I went through this drive-through, this Burger King employee, I don't know, he must have felt my good energy, because he would complain to me every time I would go through that people are yelling at him, throwing food at him. And he's like, complaining, screaming at him, cursing at him. And I feel so bad for the guy that I'm like, you know what? We're going to put you on live stream. You're going to tell your story. I have a show, and we're going to hopefully get the attention of Burger King corporate to do something for this guy. He's one of the frontline workers. They had to close this Burger King and only keep the drive-through open because he's somebody coming, with COVID. I guess there's not a lot of people coming into work these kinds of jobs. And people were screaming at him because the drive-through was only open. They couldn't get in the restaurant. And so a couple more times I drove around. I'm like, listen, we're going to take care of you. We're going to get your voice heard. We're going to get you out there. So my next Energetically Correct, we have a surprise for Patrick at Burger King in Clark Summit. And if you live in the area, make sure you go through and show your appreciation for Patrick. But I have a little surprise for him. And we are going to air this. And what you guys could do for Patrick, or join forces with me to actually help our frontline workers and give them some respect and give them some credibility. This guy's working from 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. and he's getting like harassed. And that's not what we should be doing. So you guys, once this is live, once I edit it, and once we put it on there, the best thing you could do for Patrick is share the video and tag Burger King. So hopefully we could get Burger King's attention and they could take care of Patrick and give him a raise or promotion or something. And if you're in the area, I want you to go through, give him a toy, a piece of candy, a tissue. I don't care what it is, a plant. But we did something very nice for Patrick, which I'm going to air on Energetically Correct tomorrow. So I hope you guys will help me out and share the video so Patrick could get some recognition for all of his hard work. So anyway, thank you for being here on The Office, your weekly energy forecast. And as always, Instagram, link in bio. Get on the monthly energy forecast. They are not public. They will not be live. They are pre-recorded. They will not be on YouTube. They're on a private server. Make sure you're putting your email in. Facebook and YouTube, you guys, description in the video, there's a link. Make sure that you are getting my monthly energy forecast. So this is the first time we're on Instagram today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Let me know if it came through loud and clear. And I guess that's about it. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks, guys, on YouTube and Facebook. And we will see you soon.